the issue of interrogation of terror suspects after 9/11, what a lot of people are calling the torture debate. This administration decided to release legal memos authorizing these techniques from the Bush administration. And in light of that release, the president and top officials in the White House have made various statements, and I want to try to take you through these now. April 16th, the president says, "This is a time for reflection, not retribution," in terms of what should happen next. Then, several days later, Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel in an interview says, "Those who devised policy, President Obama believes that they should not be prosecuted, and it's not the place that we go." You were asked where this all goes on Monday. The question was, why are Bush administration lawyers not being held accountable? You said the president is focused on looking forward. That's why. And then Tuesday, the president again asked, what should happen going forward now that these memos are out? And this is what he said.
With respect to those who formulated those legal decisions, I would say that that is going to be more of a decision for the Attorney General within the parameters of various laws.
Why the shifting positions?
Well, David, I don't think the president has shifted his position. I think what the president said on the Thursday in which the memos were released, all the way through this, he's been consistent and clear. Those that followed the legal advice, the four corners of the legal advice in good faith, those people should not and will not be prosecuted. But the president, as you know, David, doesn't determine who knowingly breaks the law or not. That's set up and devised by the Justice Department and other lawyers and legal entities to decide those questions. The president does strongly believe that these memos are a time for reflection on where we've been and not for retribution, and that we must look forward. I think the most important thing to understand in all of this debate, David, is the most important step that was taken in the first almost 100 days of this administration relating to this debate was for the president to ban once and for all the use of enhanced interrogation techniques by anybody involved in this government.
This is about accountability at this stage and looking backward. And I want to understand, the president is opening the door for criminal prosecution of Bush administration lawyers. Why is he doing
let's
that?
Understand, the president doesn't open or close the door on criminal prosecutions of anybody in this country because the legal determination about who knowingly breaks the law in any instance is not one that's made by a president of the United States. But hold on a second. I think it's very important. This president campaigned very vehemently on the notion that the rule of law and that legal decisions should be made not by political figures but by justice figures, just as scientific decisions about our environment or global warming shouldn't be made by politicians, they should be made by scientists.
Does the president believe or suspect that Bush administration lawyers conspired to violate the anti-torture law?
Well, I think that's a determination that the lawyers are going to make, and they're going to have to take a look at that.
There are those who say this is a president who's playing politics. He is straddling this issue because he wants to appease his liberal activist base who very much wants accountability from the Bush years over this issue.
Well, I think what's important for anybody to understand in this is that we got to this point on these memos for one reason. There was a legal case that our Justice Department and many lawyers throughout the government felt was completely unwinnable. Given that, the president does believe strongly in transparency and believed that there was no legal basis for which to withhold these memos. That's why they were released.
Is the view now that a congressional review, some kind of investigation, should take place? Is that the president's view?
Well, David, right now, currently, the Senate Intelligence Committee is undertaking a review of interrogation policies and a host of things. Given the fact that they have security clearances that allow them to look at different documents, I think this administration believes strongly that if a review is to take place, the one that's currently being done by the Intelligence Committee is the appropriate place for it.
Why is that enough, though? Because those who want more accountability would say, why a closed hearing in the Intelligence Committee? Shouldn't there be moral accountability for these practices? Shouldn't there be some kind of truth commission?
Well, I think the president had great fears that the debate that you've seen happen in this town on each side of this issue at the extremes that's taken place would be what would envelop any commission that looked backward. That's why his focus, David, the whole time is how we look forward in this country.
So keep it at the Intelligence Committee level. Don't do a bigger truth commission.
That's the president's view.
Should Democrats be investigated as to why they didn't take more actions to stop this when they were briefed about these practices?
Well, again, I would leave the look-backs and the reviews to the Intelligence
But you
Committee.
think it should be bipartisan? Both Democrats and Republicans should be scrutinized?
I think that is why the Intelligence Committee is the proper location for this to happen. You've got a bipartisan group there with the ability to do this in a way, I think, and we hope, raises this above politics. That's what's truly important here. What are we doing and what steps are we taking to keep this country safe and improve our image around the world?